G'day, and welcome to my LP review of the Beatles' 1962 to 1966 Red Album compilation. I'm going through my vinyl record collection to determine whether an LP deserves to stay in the collection or get put in the bin. The Red Album catalogues highlights from the early Beatles singles and studio albums from Please Please Me up to Revolver. This collection has a great selection of tracks, especially since this album predates Past Masters Volume 1 and the Mono Masters. For the vinyl anoraks, this pressing is a UK original from 1973, variant number 6, with a side matrix of YEX 9064GAHTM.
Yeah, wanna come for a ride in my MP4-12C?
This record presents all of the songs in true stereo, bar Love Me Do and She Loves You. This compilation is a great way to cover this era of the Beatles, especially if you want the best early singles in a set. The track order is in chronological order, so you can really hear the progression the Beatles take in just 4 years. Now, let's have a look at my copy specifically. The condition of the jacket is pretty good. It still has the vintage price sticker of $11.90 stuck on it. God, if only records still cost that much today. The main damage to the jacket is on the inside of the gatefold, where there's been some adhesive stuck on it to keep the two sides shut at one point. The records themselves are in very good nick, only a few surface scratches here and there. They play flawlessly with a tiny amount of surface noise between tracks. When the songs are playing, you can't hear any of the surface noise, which is great. The discs aren't warped in any way, and don't have any pressing defects. When I first listened to this LP on the RP1, it sounded very harsh, and sounded like the audio was peaking during playback. John's vocals especially sounded awful. So I'd written off this pressing almost as soon as I bought it, but kept it in my collection mostly just for novelty reasons. But as soon as I played it on the P3, I straight away heard how fantastic this album is.
Holy fuck! That was diabolical!
The depth in the audio is just epic. The clarity compared to the RP1 is night and day. It makes the music sound really fun and alive. The early Beatles singles have a lot of energy to them, and you get the full sound from this pressing. If you're looking at picking up a copy, there are shitloads on Discogs for way cheaper than most new vinyl records these days. It was very well received when it first came out in the 70s, and remained in print for a long time after its initial release. While this compilation isn't as comprehensive as Volume 1 of Past Masters from the 80s, or the Mono Masters from 2014, as an LP experience, the Red Album is the best presented one. Both Past Masters and Mono Masters have every A and B side from the Beatles singles that weren't released on studio albums, which can feel odd when listening to as an album. There aren't any album tracks on either Past Masters or Mono Masters, which can sometimes make them have an archival vibe to them. Not to say that those releases are bad by any means, but they just don't flow anywhere near as well as the Red Album does. If you can afford a new pressing of this album, which is $100 Australian dollary dues, then make sure to look for the hype sticker that says it's from the Analog Master tapes. As far as I'm aware, this is one of the last brand new Beatles vinyl pressings that is pressed from the Analog Master tape. Not to say that all analog is the only way to listen to vinyl records, but some of the Beatles' digitally sourced records don't sound that great. In summary, the P3 brings this compilation album to life. The P3 takes an absolute dump on what the RP1 could do with the album. It really is eye-opening, and proving its worth as an upgrade. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I hope to see you again soon.